Imagine you're crossing the street and you're super happy, whistling a terrible tune until
a giant bear
comes charging at you with big giant claws, and he's wanting blood. So you freak out. Of course you do. And what happens when you freak out? Well, you were probably noticing that your armpits were a bit sweaty. Overall, you were pretty sweaty. Your hands and your feet were pretty sweaty. And your heart was probably pounding. So your blood pressure probably went up. Your heart rate probably went up. And you were definitely just freaking out a bit. So with all these symptoms or physical manifestations of the sympathetic nervous system, this allowed you to survive dangerous events. So this is actually a good thing. Nature has allowed us to evolve so that we can respond to danger by turning on this system super quick and learning to either fight or flee. So this is also known as the fight or flight response. But let's say after this bear attack, but you got away safely, you start freaking out every time you see bears. And this could be just like on television, or your little sweet cousin dressing up as a bear for Halloween. Or when you go out, let's say in public, out in the open, you start worrying that maybe you can get attacked, or you might not be able to escape from something safely. Or maybe you just start worrying about everything, so there really isn't any limit to your worry, which would really suck. When your worry is uncontrollable, and you know that there is an element of irrationality to it, meaning you know your worry is kind of excessive and it doesn't make sense, and you have these physical symptoms, and I'm going to abbreviate symptoms with SX, this is when you might want to start thinking, is this an anxiety disorder? And disorder from now on, I'm going to abbreviate as D/O. Anxiety disorders. And the S is important because there's lots of different types of anxiety disorders. So what happens here is that all these symptoms and manifestations start affecting your life. And this is a key component in diagnosing anxieties disorders affecting your life. If you can imagine, someone with these symptoms, they might have trouble going to school because they're worrying about what's going to happen to them. They might not be able to keep up a stable job because maybe their job involves them going outside or handling stresses on top of their anxiety stressors. Even keeping relationships, because if you're really anxious and nervous all the time, you might not even be able to hang out with people you used to be able to. So this is a serious consideration. And the interesting thing is most people who go to the doctor and who end up having anxiety disorders usually present with a physical symptom first. They'll be like, hey doc, you know what, I've been getting a lot of headaches, my muscles feel really tense, I'm just really tired, I'm grumpy all the time. So anxiety disorders do not always present as anxiety, and that's something important to think about. And that is it. Thank you guys.